Despite the hype from the games journalist upon the release of Star Wars Outlaws, there was no question in the lead up to the release of Star Wars Outlaws, after the release of Star Wars Outlaws, amidst the buggy problems, the game that people didn't like, the story that people didn't like, it ended up being a massive, catastrophic failure. A game that apparently Ubisoft spent an insane amount to market because they thought that this would just hit the zeitgeist and be a game that everybody would love. It ended up collapsing. It was a failure. Just one of many in that year for Ubisoft. But as it turns out, these failures do sometimes have consequences, and that includes people losing their fucking jobs. Over on geeksandgamers.com, Star Wars Outlaws studio hit with layoffs. Ubisoft tries to call it a voluntary career transition. You can spit at however you want, but these people are no longer required at the studio. Ubisoft is back in the headlines for all the wrong reasons once again. The publisher behind Assassin's Creed and Far Cry has confirmed that it's restructuring one of its top studios. Massive Entertainment, the developer behind Star Wars Outlaws and Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora. The Avatar game was another one that I don't know if as much went into it as went into Star Wars Outlaws, but that was a game that some people thought could really take off and be excited. That ended up being kind of a disappointment as well for them. But yes, indeed, Massive Entertainment, a Ubisoft studio. They actually put that in there like they're proud of it at this point in time. Developer of The Division, Avatar: Frontiers, and Star Wars Outlaws, a member of the Ubisoft family. Well, that family is shrinking by the day. That's a phrase that's quickly being read as corporate code for employees being asked to quit. Ubisoft's voluntary spin. You know what? Let's just go right here. You can see how Asmongold responded to this. Welcome home, McDonald's. As part of our ongoing evolution and long-term planning, we've recently realigned our teams and resources to strengthen the roadmap, ensuring our continued focus on the Division franchise and technologies including Snowdrop and Ubisoft Connect that power our games. To support this transition responsibly, we introduced a voluntary career transition program, giving eligible team members the opportunity to take their next career step on their own terms, supported by a comprehensive package that includes financial and career assistance. So a severance package, and maybe if there's a spot for you in somewhere else, if we can maybe possibly find out, maybe you'll keep some semblance of a job. Got it? Massive Entertainment remains fully committed to our roadmap to creating great experiences for players around the world, including the Division 2, the Division 2 Survivors, Division Resurgence, and the Division 3. A lot of stuff involving the Division. Not so much with these other franchises that they desperately tried to kickstart. These projects continue with strength, focus, and ambition, and we look forward to sharing more in the future. And, you know, this is not the only one. Red Links just the other day for Ubisoft, I-60 job cuts. But, you know, more Ubisoft layoffs this time at Massive Entertainment. This is talking about what we're talking about right now. But we saw what happened with Ubisoft. We saw all the flops and failures that they had. We saw how much was riding on Assassin's Creed Shadows, which was a disappointment for them as well. And ultimately, Ubisoft partners up with private investors to essentially separate some of the good part of the company from the bad, really a fresh reset instead of declaring bankruptcy or whatever the fuck they were going to do. So it is a mess. It is a mess at Ubisoft. And one of the biggest parts of that mess, 100%, was the high-profile failure of Star Wars Outlaws. And it was so funny because you've got Ubisoft who's in trouble, you got Lucasfilm and Disney who's in trouble with Star Wars, and it was this blame game from Ubisoft. Yeah, our game may not have been polished. Our game may have come out buggy as fuck. Our game may have featured a protagonist that nobody was fucking interested in. But you know what? You got to consider that Star Wars sucks now too, am I right? That has to be part of the reason why this failed. It can't just be us. It has to also be that there's a very limited interest in Star Wars, which is just so funny to hear the blame game like that. But, you know, as it turns out, when you put out dog shit, sometimes there are consequences, including voluntary career transitions with severance packages and stuff like that. More layoffs for Ubisoft can't come as a surprise, especially from a studio that was involved with such a high-profile failure. What do you guys think about this? Let me know in the comments section below. Smash a like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later.